Have you ever met someone who felt like they were carved from your very soul only to discover that being with them was impossible? Imagine encountering a person who awakens every cell in your body, who speaks the language of your deepest dreams, who seems to understand the parts of yourself you've never shared with anyone else, and then having to walk away. It's a pain so exquisite, so perfectly crafted, that it feels almost intentional, almost as if the universe conspired to place this person in your path, not to give you what you want, but to show you something far more profound about who you are meant to become. Carl Jung, the pioneering psychologist who mapped the hidden territories of the human psyche, believed that nothing in our emotional lives happens by accident. According to Jung, when we encounter someone we cannot be with, someone who ignites our soul but remains beyond our reach, we are not experiencing a cosmic joke or a cruel twist of fate. We are being invited into one of life's most transformative experience. This is not about romance in the traditional sense. This is about the universe using another person as a key to unlock the deepest chambers of your own becoming. Think about that person who haunts your thoughts, the one who appeared in your life like lightning illuminating a dark sky, showing you landscapes within yourself you never knew existed. Perhaps they were already committed to someone else. Perhaps the timing was impossibly wrong. Perhaps you lived in different worlds, separated by circumstances that seemed insurmountable. Perhaps they were meant to be a teacher, not a lover. The rational mind tries to make sense of it, to find logical explanations for why something that felt so right could be so wrong. But Jung would tell you that logic is not the language the psyche speaks. The unconscious mind operates through symbols, through meaningful coincidences, through encounters that shatter our carefully constructed sense of who we think we are. When you meet someone you cannot be with, you are not meeting just another person. You are meeting a mirror that reflects back to you the parts of yourself that have been waiting in the shadows, undeveloped and unexpressed. This person embodies qualities, dreams, and potentials that exist within you but have remained dormant. They are not showing you what you lack. They are showing you what you are capable of becoming. The magnetic pull you feel toward them is actually the pull of your own unrealized self, calling you toward growth, toward integration, toward the fullness of who you are meant to be. Jung called this phenomenon projection, the unconscious process by which we see in others what we cannot yet see in ourselves. But this particular kind of projection is different. It's not about seeing our shadows or our fears reflected back to us. It's about seeing our highest potential, our unlived life, our soul's deepest yearnings made manifest in another human being. The person you cannot be with is carrying a piece of your own wholeness, and your task is not to possess them, but to reclaim that piece of yourself. The intensity of your feelings for this person, the way they seem to bypass your rational defenses and speak directly to something ancient and primal within you, is a sign that something profound is trying to emerge from the depths of your psyche. Your soul is using this connection to wake you up from the trance of ordinary living, to remind you that you are capable of feeling things more deeply, of loving more authentically than you ever imagined possible. This person is not meant to complete you. They are meant to reveal to you that you are already complete, but perhaps not yet fully expressed. The question is not why the universe brought you someone you cannot have. The question is, what is this person's presence in your life trying to teach you about yourself? What part of your own nature are they reflecting back to you? What aspect of your potential are they calling forth? The answer to these questions holds the key to understanding not just this relationship, but your entire journey of becoming who you are meant to be. The love that breaks you open is not the love that destroys you. It is the love that destroys your illusions about yourself. When you encounter someone who touches the deepest parts of your being but remains beyond your reach, you are being introduced to a sacred kind of heartbreak. This is not the petty disappointment of not getting what you want. This is the profound shattering that occurs when your soul recognizes itself in another person, only to discover that the recognition itself was the gift, not the relationship. Jung understood that the most powerful experiences in our lives often come disguised as losses. The person you cannot be with has cracked open something within you that had been sealed shut, perhaps for years, perhaps for lifetimes. They have awakened a capacity for feeling that you may have forgotten you possessed. They have reminded you that you are capable of love that transcends the ordinary boundaries of possession and control. This awakening is not meant to torture you, it is meant to liberate you from the small, safe version of yourself that you had settled for. Before this person entered your life, you may have been living on the surface of your own experience, going through the motions of love and connection without fully understanding what you are capable of feeling. You may have accepted relationships that were comfortable but not transformative, connections that were pleasant but not profound. Then this person appeared, and suddenly you understood the difference between loving someone and being in love with the mystery of existence itself. They showed you that love is not just an emotion, but a state of being, not just a feeling, but a way of perceiving reality. The breaking open is necessary because the person you were before you met them was not large enough to contain the love you are capable of experiencing. Your heart had to be cracked open to make room for a more expansive way of being in the world. This process is inherently painful because all growth involves the destruction of what came before. The caterpillar must dissolve completely before it can become the butterfly. Your old ways of loving, of being, of understanding yourself had to be shattered to make space for something more authentic and alive. Jung believed that our greatest wounds often become our greatest sources of wisdom and strength. The person who breaks you open is not wounding you. They are revealing wounds that were already there, wounds that needed to be acknowledged and healed. Perhaps you had closed your heart after previous disappointments. Perhaps you had convinced yourself that deep love was not possible or not worth the risk. Perhaps you had settled for a life of quiet desperation, telling yourself that passion and profound connection were luxuries you could not afford. This person's presence in your life is forcing you to confront these old wounds, these limiting beliefs about what you deserve and what is possible for you. They are not causing your pain. They are bringing your pain to the surface so it can finally be healed. The intensity of your feelings for them is proportionate to the depth of the healing that is trying to occur. You are not being punished by the universe. You are being offered an opportunity to return to wholeness. The love that breaks you open also breaks open your understanding of love itself. You begin to realize that love is not about possession or control, not about getting your needs met or having your desires fulfilled. Love is about recognition, about seeing and being seen, about touching and being touched by the mystery of another human being. The person you cannot be with has given you a glimpse of what it means to love without agenda, to connect without conditions, to be present to another person's essence without needing to own or change them. This realization is both liberating and terrifying. It liberates you from the small transactional understanding of love that keeps most people trapped in relationships that are more about security than growth. But it also terrifies you because it calls you to love in a way that offers no guarantees, no safety nets, no promises of permanence. You are being asked to love like the mystics love, with complete surrender to the present moment, with total acceptance of what is, with no attachment to outcomes. The person who breaks you open is teaching you that the deepest love is not about having someone, but about being transformed by the encounter with them. They are showing you that you can love someone completely and still let them go, that you can be grateful for a connection even when it cannot continue, that you can be broken open by love and emerge more whole than you were before. They were never meant to be your forever. They were meant to be your mirror, reflecting back to you the parts of yourself that you had forgotten or never fully developed. Jung's concept of the anima and animus, the feminine aspect within men and the masculine aspect within women, helps us understand why certain people trigger such intense recognition within us. When you meet someone you cannot be with, you are often meeting an external representation of your own inner wholeness, the parts of yourself that have been underdeveloped or suppressed. This person embodies qualities that you admire, not because they are foreign to you, but because they are familiar to your soul. They represent potentials within yourself that are trying to emerge into consciousness. The creative passion they express so freely mirrors your own unexpressed creativity. The confidence they radiate reflects your own inner strength that you have been afraid to claim. The way they move through the world with authenticity and purpose shows you what it looks like when someone fully inhabits their own life. The mistake most people make is thinking that they need this person in order to access these qualities within themselves. They believe that being with this person will somehow complete them, will give them access to the parts of themselves they see reflected in the other. But Jung would tell you that this is backwards. You recognize these qualities in them because they already exist within you. Your task is not to possess this person, but to develop these qualities within yourself. The intensity of your attraction to this person is actually your soul's way of showing you what you are capable of becoming. They are not your missing piece. They are a mirror showing you pieces of yourself that you have not yet claimed. The reason you cannot be with them is often because you are not yet ready to be with yourself in this fuller, more integrated way. The universe is not keeping you apart to torture you. It is giving you time and space to become the person who is capable of the kind of love you glimpsed in their presence. Think about the qualities that drew you to this person. Make a list of what you found most compelling about them. Now consider how each of these qualities might be developed within yourself. The passion you saw in them. Where in your life are you called to be more? The courage they displayed. What in your life requires more courage? The way they seemed so comfortable in their own skin. What would it take for you to inhabit your own life more fully? This person appeared in your life as a teacher, not a lover. They came to show you what you are capable of, not to give you what you think you need. The longing you feel for them is actually a longing for the fuller expression of yourself. The love you feel for them is actually love for your own potential, your own becoming, your own journey toward wholeness. Jung believed that individuation, the process of becoming who you truly are, often requires encounters with people who activate dormant aspects of our personality. These encounters are not random, they are precisely orchestrated by the unconscious mind to catalyze growth and integration. The person you cannot be with is playing a crucial role in your individuation process. They are helping you to see and reclaim parts of yourself that were lost, forgotten, or never fully developed. The pain of not being able to be with them is the pain of recognizing how much of yourself you have been holding back, how much of your potential you have been afraid to claim. It is the pain of waking up to the reality that you have been living a smaller life than you are capable of living. This pain is sacred because it is the pain of birth, the birth of a more authentic, integrated version of yourself. Instead of focusing on what you cannot have with this person, begin to focus on what you can become because of having known them. Instead of mourning the relationship that cannot be, celebrate the awakening that has occurred. They have given you a gift more precious than any relationship could provide. They have shown you who you are capable of becoming. Now it is your responsibility to honor that gift by doing the work of becoming that person. The relationship you thought you wanted with them was actually a relationship you need to have with yourself. The love you felt for them was actually love for your own unrealized potential. The connection you experienced with them was actually a connection with parts of yourself that had been waiting to be recognized and integrated. They were never meant to be your destination. They were meant to be your guide, pointing you toward the person you are meant to become. They came to awake you from the sleep of ordinary living, to shake you out of the comfortable numbness that keeps most people trapped in lives that are too small for their souls. Jung understood that the psyche has its own intelligence, its own agenda for growth and healing. Sometimes it sends us people who cannot stay, not to punish us, but to catalyze transformations that could not occur any other way. The person you cannot be with is an agent of your own awakening. a catalyst sent by your unconscious mind to activate potentials that have been lying dormant within you. Before they appeared, you may have been sleepwalking through your life, accepting limitations that were not really limitations, believing stories about yourself that were not really true. You may have convinced yourself that you were not the kind of person who experiences great love, profound connection, or transformative passion. You may have settled for a version of yourself that was safe but not alive, acceptable but not authentic, functional but not fully expressed. And then this person walked into your life and everything changed. Suddenly you remembered what it felt like to be fully alive, fully present, fully engaged with the mystery of existence. You remembered that you are capable of feelings that transcend the ordinary, connections that defy explanation, love that transforms everything it touches. They reminded you that you are not just a collection of roles and responsibilities, fears and limitations, and you are a soul having a human experience. And that soul is far more magnificent than you had allowed yourself to believe. The awakening they triggered within you is not just about love or relationships. It is about remembering who you truly are beneath all the layers of conditioning, expectation, and self-doubt that have accumulated over the years. They have shown you that you are capable of being passionate, creative, courageous, authentic, and alive in ways you had forgotten or never fully known. This awakening is not meant to be dependent on their presence in your life. It is meant to be integrated into your being so that you can carry it forward into everything you do. Jung believed that certain encounters are destined, not in the sense of fate or predetermined outcomes, but in the sense that they are necessary for the evolution of consciousness. Your soul called this person into your life because it was ready for the next stage of your development. You had reached the limits of who you could become within the confines of your old way of being. This person appeared to break those confines open, to show you that you are capable of so much more than you had imagined. The reason you cannot be with them is often because the work they came to do is complete. They have awakened you to your own potential, shown you what you are capable of feeling and being. Now, it is time for you to take responsibility for that awakening, to integrate it into your daily life, to become the person they helped you remember you could be. If you were to be with them now, you might be tempted to remain dependent on them for this feeling of aliveness, rather than claiming it as your own. The universe operates through a kind of perfect intelligence that our rational minds cannot always comprehend. Sometimes what appears to be a loss or a disappointment is actually a graduation, a promotion to the next level of your spiritual development. The person you cannot be with has done their job. They have awakened you to your own magnificence. Now it is time for you to honor that awakening by living it, by embodying it, by expressing it in every area of your life. This does not mean forgetting them or pretending they do not matter. It means understanding that they matter in a way that transcends the personal, that their impact on your life is bigger than any relationship could contain. They have become part of your inner landscape, a permanent reminder of what you are capable of when you are fully alive and authentic. They have awakened you to a way of being that you can now bring to every encounter, every relationship, every moment of your life. The love you feel for them has taught you how to love yourself, how to recognize and honor the magnificent being that you are. The passion they ignited within you has shown you what it means to be fully engaged with life. The connection you experience with them has reminded you that you are capable of profound intimacy with existence itself. These gifts are yours to keep, regardless of whether they remain in your life. They came to awaken you, and they have succeeded. Now the question is, what will you do with this awakening? How will you honor the transformation they have catalyzed within you? How will you live in a way that reflects the magnitude of what you have discovered about yourself through knowing them? The answer to these questions will determine whether their presence in your life was just a beautiful memory or a genuine transformation that changes everything about how you move through the world. The person you cannot be with is giving you the greatest gift possible. They have reminded you who you truly are. Now it is time to become that person fully and completely, whether they are there to witness it or not.